After that, I started my teaching career in Murang'a. I taught for about 2 years. Then after that, I applied to join education administration.
Just be giving us names of these places where you know, people are watching you.
Yeah.
And when you say you taught at Kahuya Girls or one of those great schools in Murang'a, they feel extremely good. Tell us, in Murang'a, where did you teach?
I taught in a high school called Mudhithi Secondary School in Marangwa constituency. After that, after teaching for 2 years, I applied for a job in the Ministry of Education to work now as in education administration. My reason for applying after those 2 years, I felt that I would do more contribution in leadership in education. And after the application, I was actually given a job as an inspector of schools. I started my inspection of schools journey from Jago House, which I posted to Kiambu County, the Raja Kiambu County then. And in the process, I got promoted. I was posted to Kiambu West, which its headquarters was in Limuru. At Limuru, I worked as an area education officer, and then also as a district quality assurance and standard officer. Then within the district, within that particular year, I was also promoted again to become a district education officer, which I worked briefly in Limuru, and then I was later posted to Ukabani, Makueni, specifically in Boni constituency, and Bubuni was the center where I went to start a new district. After working as a district education officer, maybe to bring where I am today, when I was working in Limuru as a district education officer and quality assurance, that is when 2007 post-election violence happened, and I had the responsibility of, together with other leaders in the district, we had the responsibility of settling the people who came from other areas where the violence had happened to centers within Limuru. One of the centers was called Kiradimo, and we had to start as the education, we had to start the centers for how to take care of the children. And I saw children who came without their mothers. Others did not know where their parents were or the siblings. I saw mothers who never knew where the children were. I saw people who really were desperate, others were wounded. I saw mothers also going through labor within the center and all that. And I think that is the first point it awakened me that there's something called elections, and elections can be managed, and it aroused my interest from that day. And I said, one day I was a young girl, and that day I said, one day I will run elections. And in 2009, I saw the advertisement of the IEBC then, which was the interim elections, and IEBC, Independent Electoral Commission. Yeah, that's when I threw in my application. Then I was a DO in Ukabani, and by God's grace, I got an opportunity to be hired by that particular institution. Then I worked there in the IEBC for the 2 years, and then we were later absorbed by IEBC when the IEBC was now formed.
What were you hired as?
I was hired as my first hiring at IEBC was manager partnerships. I was in charge of stakeholder engagement, resource mobilization, donor engagement, and generally special interest groups. So I worked there for about 5 years in that docket. Later, I also acted as the director of voter education and partnerships for also another 2 years. And later, after that, I went to head electoral training, now in the operations docket. So I also worked another 4 years in that particular training docket. So in total, I worked in IEBC for 9 years. After that, an opportunity arose at the Office of Registrar of Political Parties, and government then was looking for someone to go and sit in an acting capacity as they recruited the Registrar of Political Parties. The then IEBC chair, Wafula Chebukati, seconded me to go, of course, with the consultation with government, to go and act as the Registrar of Political Parties, awaiting the recruitment. That was 2018. Later, which was supposed to be acting for 6 months, later turned out to be almost 2 years, which I acted, and later the position was advertised. In the year 2020, I applied, and the rest is history, because now I was confirmed as the Registrar of Political Parties. So in total, Chair, I've been working as the Registrar of Political Parties for a period of 7 years. It has been a long and bumpy, sometimes a bumpy journey, but through it all, I've seen the institution grow from what I met as about 46 staff to now around 120 staff. We have 12 offices established in the counties. At the Office of Registrar of Political Parties, I've also established systems. One of it is the digitalization of all the processes, including membership recruitment and ensuring that Kenyans are recruited in parties they actually would want to belong. So one of the major issues was fixing systems and making the institution work. We have also had legal review and legal reform, and also at the OLPP, I'm also the accounting officer and the authorized officer. And Chair, I can report that for the last 6 years I've been at that docket. I've had clean audit reports, and clean I mean without qualified opinion. Of course, there are some issues that I usually come to respond to, as it is the practice, but at least we have had without qualified opinion. Chair, in terms of election capacity and what I've done at IEBC, I worked to develop the training manuals that are used up to date, more than 16 of them. I was leading a team that developed those training materials, and they are used up to date, and you can see the many of them. At OLPP, I've also developed similar training materials and information books and policies that allow the institution to run. Chair, I can also confirm when I was working at IEBC and the partnership department, I also developed policies and also frameworks for engaging partners, and also developed policies on how to engage the special interest groups. I'm also an accomplished bridge trainer, which is a training which is one of the highest accrediting training that you can have in the electoral space. Apart from holding the degree in education, in literature, I also hold a master's degree in linguistics, and also hold a diploma in administration. I also hold other certificates. I've been trained in elections in India for about 2 months. I've trained in election comparative training in election management in India, in South Korea, and also have many bench making across the world. I've also been involved as an election observer in at least 21 countries in the globe. I've also trained different institutions, including electoral commissions, in elections management. So I'm very sound with electoral policy and electoral training and the operations of elections not only in Kenya but also in the region and comparative across the globe. I'm also all round because I've also managed political parties. I've engaged political parties back to back. Probably I'm among the very few Kenyans who are able to say that I know elections back to back, because I've worked right from when a person expresses interest to run for elections up to the time the person is elected. I know the processes back to back, starting from expression of interest and then coming all the way to become an officer who have been elected in a particular position. I'm able to relate and process all that information.
Thank you very much. I think you're good diving into your experience into this, but these members have questions for you.
Sure.
To show that the process of your nomination and your suitability for that job. So I think we start straight away. We have one lady who is sitting with us, Honorable Zulekha, should be the first one. She's coming back. As she comes back, let me have Honorable Otiende Amolo. He can pose the question.
Chairman, and Ruto, just two questions.
Sure.
We have received memoranda in objection to your nomination that you are currently serving as the registrar of political parties and therefore you are ineligible. The question is this: are you a state officer or a public officer? And secondly, how do you respond to that objection? The second very brief question is that we've seen in the past, we saw what was referred to before as a split screen. We saw a divided commission. In the event that you were to be approved, how would you assure us that we will not have a situation where we have a commission that is divided? Thank you.
Right. Please make notes of the questions because you'll answer them at one go. Okay. And I will note the first question was on your appointment.
Sure.
Very good. Honorable Karemba Mushangi. Pose your question. One question, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I take notice of a very good presentation of by the nominee, and I saw somewhere in her very good. I saw somewhere in her submissions that she did something on facilitator for running to win 2027 agenda, and I am curious to know what is this? What is this mission? Is it is your application to be in the commission part of the wider strategy to running to win 2027 agenda? Could you shed light to?
Thank you very much, Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Chair. I was equally impressed with the nominee. She just served for 2 years after university, and she got to become an administrator in education.
Sorry.
Okay, so I was wondering, and then she joined IEBC later on, rose through the rank to become a director. After that, became the registrar of political parties, and if I quote her, she said she was seconded by the late Chair Chebukati, but with the approval of government. So I'm wondering, what is this helping hand that is taking her through all these positions? Is she what we call the deep state that people talk about? And I didn't even know about this running to win 2027. I'm even more curious now. And Chair, the nominee has worked for a long time in IEBC, 9 years. She has also worked 7 years in ORPP. Shouldn't there be some cooling off time? Isn't she so knowledgeable about the inner workings of these institutions that, just like the former commissioners, she should not even be allowed to be a commissioner because she needs to cool off. We give her some 5 years before she even applies for jobs like this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dawood. Honorable Mushira.
Thank you, Chairman. Nominee, your office has been perceived to lack independence, the ORPP, to some extent that anyone who wants to register probably a political party fears that you block, that road block, that you consult somewhere whether to approve or not. So I would wish you to confirm that, and if it's so, whether this lack of independence will be transferred to the IEBC. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. The Honorable Lobby Member, Zulekha.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations, Anne, for the rich CV.
Thank you.
I understand you've served as a training manager at the IEBC. What is your view on establishing an electoral training institute within the Commission to provide continuous learning, career growth, and professional certification for the staffs within the Commission? On my other question, still you've worked at the IEBC for many years, and in the recent past we've seen the way the Commission has been divided when it comes to the election time, and even in terms of the management within the IEBC. How will you foster an institutional culture of neutrality and non-partisan among the IEBC staff? And what are some of the leadership principles you will bring to the Commission plenary to ensure effective teamwork among the commissioners and the staffs? And finally, how will you respond to concerns about potential institutional bias arising from having previous relationships with staffs and stakeholders? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Closely intertwined to Honorable Dawood's questions. Nominee, we give you time to respond to that.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, you be precise, concise, brief, so that we are able to make progress very quickly. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give you time for that.
Yeah, Chair, I'm a linguist and I was taught summary. The first question is on my suitability, on my eligibility as a commissioner, because I am currently holding an office. My response to that, Chair, to Honorable Member, first, I'm a state officer, not a public officer, and I want to respond by giving a document. I don't know where it is. It's a document to the members. You can give it to a few of the members. Please, you should just give me one copy.
What document are you producing?
A document just to respond to that first question.
Where do you respond verbally?
Allow me, please, Chair, because I'm your candidate.
Yes,
yeah,
but
please.
you know, it's not an examination, but,
yeah, but
tell us verbally what the document is all about in two sentences.
Yeah.
Then we shall read the rest of it.
Yeah, as she gives, yeah? When I was just about to apply for the commission, I was live to that particular provision that one of the eligibility, that somebody cannot be appointed as a commissioner or as a commissioner if you are a state officer. But I want to say, number one, that the law talk about appointment, and therefore the whole of this process will actually finally end up in the appointment, which now, in the meantime, we are doing the process leading to appointment. But this particular document, Chair, please, a single minute, is from the National Assembly.
You are saying you've not been appointed?
Yes, I have not been appointed.
Thank you very much. Move to the next question.
Yeah. And this document, Chair, will say why. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Chair, I think because I posed the question, I need a clear answer. And I think Kenyans need the clarity of the answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chair, please allow me, because that's the petition that has been given to this committee. Yeah, please, if you allow me just a few seconds, I could have
2 seconds, bearing in mind my time constraints.
Yeah, I know.
Right. There's a distinction between the two. That's what you're supposed to be drawing, actually.
Yeah. So I wanted to draw your attention to a ruling by the National Assembly Speaker on this matter. And it was ruled on 4th of December 2014, when one person who was a state officer was before a committee and they were supposed to be approved by Parliament. And without reading the whole document, I will just go to the last 2 paragraphs of what the Speaker said. He said, I therefore rule that the office of Member of Parliament of Kajiado Central or any other member does not fall vacant on account of his nomination for appointment as a cabinet secretary. Such a member will only be required to vacate office by tendering his resignation just before assuming the office of the cabinet.
Thank you. Nominee, appointment and nomination. On the distinction. Next question.
The next question, Chair, was on if the divide is clean about the split commission. One, it is very important to do team building of a commission, and I want to submit one of the differences that usually come is if people come at different times, especially in an electoral commission. Team building, and especially when they come towards the end of towards the election, the time for team building actually may not be there. Now that we are entering all of us together, should we be approved by this Parliament, then team building and working together for the common good will be our intention. And therefore I submit, Chair, personally I will try to be as a team player as much as possible. Should there be conflict, we shall be looking out to see how we can resolve conflict rather than split, because we have a responsibility to deliver. And therefore I want to submit at a personal level that I would want to play part of the team under the leadership of the chairman, if approved by Parliament. The other question is that this question of learning to win facilitator. Learning to win a facilitator, actually it's a program to bring many people who are, especially the young people. It's actually a civil society program in Kenya. It aims to bring the youth, the person with disability, and women, the marginalized, to try to bring as many in the ballot paper as possible. We call it learning to win because we are trying to bring the marginalized communities, the youth, the person with disabilities, and the women to come to the ballot paper. So it's a civic engagement program that I'm usually involved in terms of mobilizing the people to participate in elections. So it has nothing to do with the people who are learning for elections or helping anybody. It's actually a civic engagement. And we target the universities. We do programs in the universities for them to understand the space of elections. We target women who ran and failed last time. We target the marginalized communities who have no representation, so that by doing so, we have as many as inclusive elections as possible. So I've been facilitating when called upon from time to time for them to understand the sharing and the election laws and what is there for them to prepare to join the election space and also learn and be in the ballot paper. The other question, Chair, was what is the helping hand? Looking at my CV and career, whether I'm part of the deep state. Of course, I'm tickled by deep state, but I want to say the helping hand can only be described in two. Number one, my hard work, because I'm usually focused. I want to do the right thing. I work hard. I work beyond my time. If you give me an assignment, I will do even beyond what you told me to do. That has been my philosophy, the philosophy of excellence. And if you work as a young person around people who really want excellence, automatically somebody will pick you pick you up and see this is a person who means well and he has the capacity and ability, and have that particular feeling that you should continually develop yourself. That is one. Two, of course, I'm a Christian. I pray. So if there's any helping hand, God has been involved. Yeah.
Good. Next question.
The next question, the independent of OLPP, whether I have to consult other people so that I register a political party. The first thing...
Chair, she didn't...
Go to Honorable Dawood, where he says your status now looks suspicious. The nomination now towards your appointment to the commission is suspicious in that you have a long relationship with IEBC. Says, what exactly are you going to do there?
Okay. Whether I need a cool off. Indeed, was the next question, but let me respond to it first. That whether I need a cool off time. The first thing is that I think this country need to tap experience. And provided an officer is a person of integrity, is hardworking, is able to do the right thing, then I don't think you need any cool of time, because you are actually transferring that experience. It will be a wasted talent if now somebody who have worked and has talent is thrown out on basis that you need to cool off. My take would be you need to translate that experience even to do better in elections.
He's asking whether that helping hand which was alluded to is not the helping hand that is taking you to IEBC where you were for 9 years.
The helping hand, even if God is taking me there.
Yeah, leave the deity, leave God. What about the other human being hand?
I doubt which is the hand, because I think the jobs were open for application and I applied just like any other. In the Kenyan, I went through a process and here I was, and I don't think I know any person whatsoever who actually is the head. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Political party?
The question of political parties, first of all, the issue of registering a political party, if I come just to registering a political party, is governed by the law. And the Political Parties Act is very clear which processes and steps to follow when you are registering a political party. At no point do we consult anybody about how we register a political party or not. And the Act is very clear that the Office of Registrar is an independent state office. And I think we have, to the largest extent, seriously, we have maintained that independence. We have registered, since I joined 2018, I've registered 34 political parties. Right now, there are about 40 or so that are going registration. And every day you see newspapers publishing political parties that are supposed to be registered. If
including DCP of the impeached deputy president.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was for him, but we registered with officials who presented themselves. The officials who registered, whether he came to join it later, that's another story altogether. But we have registered as many political parties as they have met the requirement of the law, and we shall continue to register. Sometimes we are even challenged that we are registering too many political parties, but we maintain that Kenya is a multi-party democracy, and as far as a person is meeting the required legal framework, then he should be allowed to register a political party. So really, we are not biased. We have worked beyond reproach. You make decisions. Sometimes one divide is not happy because there are two people maybe who are fighting, and it's bound to happen in any institution where decisions are made. Somebody may express that I'm not happy with the decision. Luckily, the appeal mechanism in this country, if somebody is dissatisfied with the decision, is able to take it to the next level of dispute resolution. The other question was whether I support the establishment of Electoral Training Institute for the staff within the Electoral Commission. The truth is yes. When I worked as the Director of Voter Education and Partnerships, we even developed a concept. We even engaged with the KICD, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. We even developed a curriculum. We engaged with Kenya School of Government. We were to establish such an institution. And I was the first person to develop that concept paper of establishing an institution. We even were supported at some point by IEBC. IEBC is the organization that bring the global electoral commissions together, and they gave us some little fund to try and do the concept, which I did, but before probably I could complete, I was transferred to another department, but I still think it's a very valid idea, very important. When I was the electoral training manager, I developed an online training where the presiding officers were supposed to be trained and do some exam to be marked by the trainers as a way of institutionalization training within the Electoral Commission, and I know up to date the Electoral Commission used that, so that the presiding officers are also taken through to do some kind of an examination, and then the trainers mark it so that we have the best trained electoral staff. The other question, Chair, is on neutrality of IEBC staff. What I want to confirm to this committee and of course to the nation, that IEBC has one of the very well trained electoral staff across the region. IEBC has invested very much in electoral training and training the staff. We have one of the best electoral staff that we can have in the region. But sometimes Kenyans do not appreciate that we have such resources. If you take even the simplest person in IEBC at the deputy returning officer level, and you take him abroad, he'll be able to train about elections because they are trained. Continuously training is done within IEBC. And IEBC staff are very committed. I work with them, I know them, they are very committed to do the right thing and to be neutral, but they need to be motivated, they need to be guided and protected from public attacks, because sometimes that is what diminishes the ability to want to do all that you can do. So one of the requests that I'll make to this committee, and of course the parliament as a whole, is sometimes to try and caution the officers who are working in elections. It's a tedious job, it's very demanding, it demands your energy. Some of them even get, their health get compromised in the name of serving in elections, others get killed in the process, but sometimes the nation does not understand. And you see, this job has to be done by some Kenyans. So it is only good if we really stop attacking, especially the political class. Let's give IEBC staff the time to really work and do what is required. Because there's a commission, the commission is the political arm of that institution. It's better to engage with the commission at that level should there be issues, instead of attacking directly the staff that are working in elections. By doing that, this neutrality which they already have, that one I can confirm because I've worked with majority of them and they mean well for this country. This neutrality, they feel the motivation to keep working and feeling energized to really serve this nation in elections. The second to last question was which leadership principles will I bring to the IEBC Commission that will enhance governance? I think the first one should be my ability to stay focused and to do a project and finish. I am able to see back to back of a project and want to finish. I'm also a team player. And secondly, I also am very well talented in negotiation, in mentorship, and also be able to mediate in circumstances where the problems will arise. I'm also very calm as a personality. Rarely do I get worked up, which I think it's a quality that can help in elections. I'm able to stay resilient and work all the way towards achieving an objective.
Thank you very much. You say you don't lose your cool easily.
Not very easily, by the way.
Telling us that's a virtue for commissioners.
Yeah. And then there was the last question, Chair.
Yes.
Potential institution bias towards stakeholders. I think one of the issues that we must agree that there has been a problem, in spite of what we have done. One of the issues that we must fix as a country is access to election And this specifically to engage all the stakeholders in elections. Sometimes, and I want to say because I was a member of staff in the commission, sometimes the commission tried to protect its staff too much out of the attack that there's no electoral access for everyone. So I think the part of it is actually to try and engage every stakeholders in time and give the right information without appearing to really be overprotective. And finally, it's very important that the stakeholder give honest opinion and the commission is able to respond to the issues raised without fear of contradiction. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we are looking at your academic papers. And in some of them you are named as Annie Jerry Simon.
Yes.
Others are Annie Jerry Nderito.
Yes.
Is that the same person?
Yeah, there's even an affidavit within the papers. So I just want to say that this is one and the same person. Anne Jerry Simon was my maiden name. Anne Jerry Nderito is my married name. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Just answer these few questions. Yes or no? Honorable Farah, please. We are running out of time. Just hold on, Honorable Farah. If you can kindly, hold on, please. All right, please, Mogaka. Let's just do the routine questions and then we see what we are able to do. Okay, now, have you been convicted of any offense?
No.
Have you been named as having contravened Chapter 6 of the Constitution on ethics?
No.
Do you have any potential conflict of interest between what you're doing now and if you are confirmed as a nominee of IEBC, as a commissioner for IEBC? Do you see any potential conflict of interest, including now and in the future?
Now I don't have any, but should there be any conflict arising, I will declare interest as guided by Article 75 of the Constitution.
Have you done any pro bono works in the Republic of Kenya worth mentioning?
Yes,
that is out to help human beings.
Yes, I participate in charity work, and especially through the church. I also do mentorship program for young people and young marriages. Yeah, through the church program.
Thank you very much. Finally, you know IEBC is a sensitive office that you're going into if you are approved by this house, including what many people out there believe are lucrative contracts with the chicken, whatever it was called, all that put together, contracts that would enrich you to the disadvantage of the work you've been employed to do, and also to the disadvantage of Kenyans. What is your net worth?
My net worth as captured in the document is around 138 million Kenya shillings.
138 million made up of?
Made up of real estate, a few properties, made up of vehicles, made up of a few houses, some stocks, and also some investment in dairy farming.
Dairy farming, all right. What is your source of income as we speak today?
My source of income is first of all my salary and my allowances. I also have dividends that are coming from circles and stocks which come probably periodically or every year. I also have I run also a small business in logistics and also farming.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Nderito. For the sake of time and members, we agree in agreement that the questions are almost exhaustive and the responses are also almost exhaustive. We will release you. We will not give you a verdict today. We have to retreat and look at everything you've told us and what you submitted before us. Then we do a report, submit it to the House, and the House will make a decision as to whether you are suitable or not suitable to sit as a commissioner of IEBC.
Sure.
So for now, we thank you very much and we release you so that we can meet the next candidate.
Thank you.
Sorry,